You keep cutting me off, Moose. Like you're afraid I'm going to say something like. That's okay, Moose. You can record it all. I'm not. Nothing's controversial. Don't worry. But anyway, yeah, Clemson. So first of all, like Notre Dame, I said this yesterday. I felt we were Georgia Tech playing the Golden State Warriors on Saturday. When you watch the film, goodness, man, Notre Dame was really, really good. They were literally like the Golden State Warriors, and they were like standing on the ocean pier, shooting into the ocean. That's how big the basket was for them. And we had some great looks at times. We just, it's a bad combination when you're missing wide open threes and they're making tough threes. But that's just how good Notre Dame is when they get hot offensively. And, got a really great opportunity in front of us tomorrow versus a really good Clemson team. They won 2 games last week versus Wake Forest and at Boston College. Both games without P.J. Hall and without Hunter Tyson. That's a great credit to Coach Brunell and his staff. I think Coach Brunell does, as good a job as anyone in the country. So I just, we'll have to play really well. I don't know if PJ Hall will play. We've prepared that he is going to play. And if he does, he does. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. Regarding Hunter Tyson, it sounds like he probably would be more likely to come back Saturday more than our game. But, Chase Hunter has been playing really well. We had a good win the first time we played him. Davon Smith was really good for us the first time we played him. He was excellent, helped us win the game. Unfortunately, Davon won't be able to play tomorrow. And, just one of those deals this year, we've missed out on, not only missing out on Bubba Parham for the year, but, missing Rodney Howard during that stretch and missing Davon during the stretch, has been a lot of games. Does he help you win? Because I thought Davon was really starting to turn the corner, starting to play really at a high level. So missing him has hurt us. And then obviously missing Tristan. He had that great game. He basically, won us the game against Boston College with his 7 threes. Didn't shoot well against Carolina, but then he had the thumb injury. He had a thumb injury, and he was dealing with some personal stuff. So haven't had him, and just haven't had the full roster of guys this year. It's just been one of those years where it's just kind of gone back and forth where, some things just haven't gone our way and some things that's out of your control with injuries and things like that. And that's just the way it goes. But we've got a great opportunity for us on Wednesday, tomorrow night at Clemson. We have a lot to play for. If I'm not mistaken, and again, this is a lot has to happen, but if we were fortunate enough to win both games this week, there's a good chance we could finish 10th place still. Obviously some other things would have to happen. So there's still a lot to play for. So to win both games this week, we would still have a chance to finish 10th, which would be pretty cool. So we can control our destiny on that. Obviously we would need other people to do some things, but hey, there's a chance to do that. Not that we're striving to finish 10th, but as I've told our guys, this is, we got a lot to play for this week. It's not doom and gloom. The sun's out, we got some great opportunities this week. And if we play well and try to get 2 wins this week, we can, and a couple little things happen, we can slide into 10th place, which would be, not bad. And, it's a game of not inches this year for us. It's been a game of centimeters. And, a couple plays here and a shot here and a shot there, man, the whole season could turn around. So we just got to keep staying at it. Let's try to play well tomorrow against Clemson. You're on mute, Moose. You got to stop muting yourself, Moose.
You got to go ahead, Rod. You're first.
Josh, first time around, you guys played a great first half defensively, went on a run and really limited PJ Hall in that first half from really getting a hot start against you guys. I imagine that's the goal again this time.
Yeah, well, PJ Hall had a really good, second half. PJ Hall's a great player. and he really got hot the second half. And we did a good job guarding the 3-point shot. Now Dawes was 6 for 10. I think everybody else was 0 for 14, but Dawes was 6 for 10 against us. In the last 5 games, Dawes is shooting about 50% from 3. So we'll have to really guard the 3. And Ian Shefflin's playing really well right now. Middlebrooks, who's come in, got more time with PJ's absence. So we'll have to do a great job defensively. And we were good defensively against them, Rod. Part of that was Davon Smith was really good for us. Jordan Mecca gave us great minutes that game. So we'll need to play well.
Kelly Quinlan, go ahead, Kelly.
Yeah, I believe this is correct. I heard this stat that no one's won the ACC tournament and then finished last the next season. So I know you don't want to set records like that. How important is this game Wednesday and then the game Saturday with Boston College to try to at least not finish at the bottom of the ACC after having such a great season last year?
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't want to finish at the bottom. We don't want to be in the bottom tier, Kelly. We obviously don't want to set any records like in that way, but it's just been, we've had a tough season. It's nothing that I don't think any one of us anticipated. We've had a couple games that were a shot here or a shot there that we could be sitting here 8th place, just based on a couple games. But, look, I've said it before. I knew we were going to take a step back this year, Kelly. Just based on who we lost, I don't think there was no denying that. And we were going to rely on a lot of young guys. And then when I found out about the news with Bubba, I said, man, we've lost a lot. However, I felt that we would still be a little bit better than where we are right now. I really felt that. I'm not saying we'd have won the league or anything like that, but I just felt we had been, a few more wins. And we probably would if, a free throw here, have a 3-point on top, 10th here, make a shot here, get us. You're talking 2 or 3 more wins throughout the year. I thought we'd have a couple more wins. I think we would have had that with Bubba, but without Bubba, I thought we'd still be a little better than where we are now. And so we just, I know it's been tough for everybody. It's been, for the fans and obviously for the young men that I coach and from, I'm sure, the administration and Yellow Jacket Nation and myself. Nobody likes to be in this position. Like I said, we were going to, just by natural cycles, because we spend so much time in development and taking time to develop guys, that when you lose huge pieces, you're going to, and rely on young guys, and you have some injuries, just going to take time. Like, for example, Davon was starting to turn the corner. He was starting to play at a high level, Kelly, got hit with an injury. Rodney, if he didn't maybe miss that stretch, so those are 2 things there. You just pick up another win along the way on each stretch. And you probably wouldn't have that stat to throw at me, not in a negative way, just because we wouldn't be in that position. And, but that's just the way the year's gone. So we're going to do all we can to win both this week. Not going to be easy. We'll have to play really well. And just been one of those years.
Ken Segura, go ahead, Ken.
You actually wouldn't be the first, if that makes you feel any better. I think there was Virginia did it in 78, but regardless, the steal numbers aren't quite as high as they were a few games ago. Is that are teams responding all differently, protecting the ball better?
Well, Moose should have picked up that stat, not you, Ken. So Moose should have had that, but I appreciate you stepping in there. So we wouldn't.
I'm guessing Moose doesn't want to bring that up right now.
Okay, yeah. Well, God forbid that happens. No, you're on mute, Kelly. You're on mute, Kelly.
I was just saying, in my lifetime, how about
in
that?
Your
as a
lifetime,
stat?
fair enough. In God forbid that happens. I'm glad that we wouldn't be the first, but let's try to avoid that stat. But you know why we haven't got as many steals, Ken, the last few games? Because for Syracuse, we played all man-to-man. Versus Notre Dame, we played pretty much all man-to-man. And Virginia Tech, we did force them a lot of turnovers, or more than they, And we got steals in that game because we played more zone. But the two games where we played pretty much all man-to-man was Notre Dame and Syracuse. And we don't force a lot of teams in turnovers in our man-to-man. We do within our zone.
Rod McKenzie. Rod, go ahead.
Josh, have Jalon and Miles continued to play well in practice to deserve the minutes they're continuing to get?
Look, I mean, they both gotten better. They're good players. You know, obviously due to injuries and stuff, they're going to have to play and they're going to have to produce. And the minutes that they're getting, hopefully that it, will pay off for them. You know, obviously not only for this stretch run here, but also going into next season.
Back to Kelly. Kelly.
I was just curious about something. I was looking back over sort of your tenure at Georgia Tech, and it seems like the piece that's sort of missing right now is that from that 2019 class where you had two guys that didn't work out for you that aren't on the team anymore. And between that and just the normal attrition, you sort of have this vacuum between sort of the Usher, DeVoe, Khalid group, and then the younger guys. And there's just not really a lot in between there other than Kyle. Just do you feel like maybe that's where the get old, stale thing got caught a little bit with this particular group?
Yeah, you're spot on, Kelly. I mean, you know, obviously, you know, we haven't got a lot of the class, because and again, you know, like Tristan, Saba, and Jordan Meck in that class, like when we signed Tristan, which he can really score, as we've seen, you know, but I need him on the floor. And unfortunately, he's had the thumb injury, so we haven't got him on the floor as much because I know he can really score the ball. So that's, you know, that's a guy that can score, you know, and Saab and Jordan Mecca. Jordan Mecca's played some minutes here and there, but, you know, because those guys are still young. So in that class, but a guy like Tristan can really put the ball in the basket, but there's just things out of his control and our control that's nothing we can do, you know, that because I really thought once he got going at Boston College, I was going to, and I know he didn't shoot well against Carolina, but he was going to be a guy that could, you know, put a lot of points on the board in a hurry for us. And in that 19 class, who was that? That was the
Didinko and Asante.
Yeah, Asante and Didinko. So that's a void in that class there. That happens, Kelly. You know, I think it would probably be a little different, to be honest with you, all across the country. If people weren't given the extra COVID year, because yes, we would have lost Usher and Parham, and I would not have had Jose. I would have known that I wasn't having Jose and Moses. So all that being said, and other teams that we would have played that maybe, you know, had some guys that were COVID, you know, seniors, you know, you don't have them, and then who know, you know. So I just think the whole additional year kind of, you know, just, you know, and I've said this before, if I could have done it over again, I should have given Jose and Moses a timeline. And by me waiting for them, and it's worked out for them, but by me waiting for them and allowing them to go that long, it's hurt us for this season. And looking back, that was something on me. But, you know, at the time, like I said, I thought if those, and I thought Jose was 100% coming back. I thought Moses was 50-50. You could say, because it took so long. And based on the feedback, they said, hey, you know, and so my thing is a couple guys said, if Moses comes back, he could be a surefire first rounder, you know, this, that. Now it's worked out for both guys. So that's why it's worked out, but it's kind of hurt us because, you know, during that April period, I didn't sign anyone during that segment to immediately replace them that were, you know, instant impact guys that could have probably helped, but, you know, you live and learn on that. And that's just the way it goes. So, you know, there's a lot of things to look back, but, you know, Kelly, we might not be talking about that if there's a couple games here or there that the ball goes in the hoop. Maybe Bubba Parham doesn't get injured, or if Davon doesn't hurt himself and we beat Syracuse and Virginia Tech, and we're sitting here talking differently. So that's just the way the year's gone.
Couple more questions. Rod McKenzie next.
Hey, Josh, speaking of Smith, has Richard or the doctors given you any indication of when you might get him back?
I'll know more this afternoon, but he's 100% out for Wednesday. Tomorrow, Saturday, I don't know. I mean, probably highly doubtful. And then after you get to that point, you know, he hasn't done anything for 2 weeks. He hasn't been allowed to do any exercising or anything with the team. So you're just, you know, if he's not able to play Saturday, then I would say he's probably doubtful or wouldn't be able to play in Brooklyn. But I'll
Dan,
know
if
more.
you-
I'll know more this afternoon.
Yeah.
I'll know more direct knowledge this afternoon.
Ken, I'll give the last one to you if you've got one. Otherwise, we'll wrap up.
I think I'm good. Thank you, though.
All right. Very good. Thanks,
Are you
Coach.
driving up? Are you driving up tomorrow, Ken and Kelly?
Yes.
Yes.
How about you, Rod?
I'll be covering baseball.
Well, baseball, I tell you, Coach Hall, I mean, how many wins does he have? Like 2,000?
He's one of the all-time leaders. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. They should put Danny Hall on top of so here's what I think they should do. Danny Hall should be named for the baseball stadium. Bruce Hepler should be named for the golf. How about Coach Michelli, what she's done for volleyball? Okay, how about, I mean, the track and field coaches, they've been here longer than I've been alive. Their names should be all over the track and field group. Coach Porter should have her name next to Coach Kremen's on the court. You know, I mean, I could go on and on about the coaches. Swimming and diving is unbelievable. Tennis is unbelievable. You know, Coach Harmon and Coach Thorne. I mean, everyone, and I mean this, everyone at Georgia Tech, other than myself, every coach at this school should probably have their name mentioned at the facility they work at. They've earned it. They've won so much. And Coach Collins will eventually get there because he's building something. So, you know, it might take him take him a little more time to get there. But, you know, take me out for a second because I don't deserve it. Coach Collins will get there in time. But every other coach at Georgia Tech should have their name. You look at the wins, and Coach Eileen for softball, I know she's building something there special. You know, I mean, we got so many great coaches in this building, and that's a credit to Mr. Stansberry and what he's built here at Georgia Tech.
If we had you, Josh, though, we wouldn't have to call it McCamish. We could call it McCamish.
Well, right now it's McCamish and it's Coach Kremen's court, and I think it's soon to be Coach Kremen's and Coach Fortner's court is how I look at it.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, see
Thanks,
everybody.
Thank you, Josh.